Hi guys, so I'm back. Let me just check something. I think the Soundflower settings have got messed up. Yeah, so I was streaming earlier, but we had no picture, which was not my fault. It was an issue with Lightstream, the streaming software. So let me just check if it's fixed, because I don't want to sit here talking for ages with no picture. That would not be cool. Let me just check on Facebook. Yeah, it's looking good. Yes, it's a public holiday here in the UK, so anyone who's been off today, hope you've had a nice day. And let's crack on. So I'm working on the track I was working on yesterday, so it's a VIP mix, which is going to be under my pseudonym Ghetto No, a bit more of a clubby kind of vibe, of a track which is going to be coming out on Boogie Angst later in the year, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, so let's crack on. I'm going to hopefully get onto, well, definitely going to get onto the compression, because I'm just doing some, I've just been doing filtering EQ, yeah, so let's go onto the guitars. So I'm just trying to like kind of frame the sound, so let's work on this guitar sound. Beautiful. Okay, so I think, yeah, this has been imported from I'm actually just going to leave this because this has been imported from the other project, and you can hear it's got stacks of effects on it. So I will have already filtered it. So life's too short. I don't need to do it twice. So this is, I think this is a little loop from Splice. There's a little bit of stuff down there. Wow, that's some dodgy editing right there. Okay, so let's just do a little fade in, fade out. Let's see if we fix it. This sounds like it might have a little bit of unnecessary stuff in there. Let's pull that back a bit. I didn't mean to make that dual mono. I'm just going to use a high pass on that. Now, that guitar sounds like it could be a little bit dull sounding, but let's just hear things in the mix. Maybe it is a bit dull sounding in the mix. So let's, these are already bust somewhere. I think they're the same kind of tone, these two guitars. Let's have a look. I could just maybe try brightening them up slightly. going before, or are they going to bus 17? I wonder if I had a phase mistress going on both of them. I think I did. Okay, so let me just work on this one and I'll copy the settings across. So I'm just going to go with the Saturn again and just try and liven this up a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of doing what I want it to do. It's just making it a little bit brighter. I also don't want any real harshness, so maybe I'll just do a little cut here. No, I'm losing character by doing that. So let's just dial back a little bit of that Saturn effect. Copy it across. Okay. Okay, so this is all just like noise that I've basically added in. So stuff which is sidechained to things. So I think I've got some like amp kind of noise sidechained to the bass. There's things probably sidechained to the clap and the kick maybe. There's some vinyl dirt and some tape. Just because I find that it adds in so really nice kind of atmosphere to the track. It's kind of subtle, but it just kind of adds in a bit of like grungy kind of vintagey stuff. Now these are all effects, and I don't think I'm going to do anything with these. Am I? Let's have a look. I'm just going to be quick with this. Try just doing a bit of a roll off on this. Okay, all right, so that's going to be it for filtering. Okay, so kind of staged the mix a little bit. I'm sorry, framed the mix, so kind of like taking away the lows and the tops that aren't needed in different sounds. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at some compression. All right, nice. So I've got all the drums here. Let's bust them together, because that's going to enable me to try out some different compression ideas. Okay, so those for some reason are going to a bus already. Triangle, little break, crash, perfect. Okay. I'm just going to call this drums and send the kick there as well. Please, if anyone's got any questions, just please stop me and feel free to ask away. Okay, so there's some random stuff going on here. So was it 20? Yeah, kick going to 20. Okay, so 20. 20 is the kick, and 20 can go to the drums. Bus 24. Okay, cool. So let's load up one of my favorite compressors, which is the Pro C2, and this is going to allow me to get some groove going on. Okay, so tempo is 1-2-2. Compression can be a musical rhythmic effect as much as a kind of suppressing things effect. So at 1-2-2 we can set musical release times. So let's say we wanted a 16th note, so the compressor is going to be triggered by, say, the kick and the clap mostly, and then we can have it snapping back using the release time, so it's kind of sucking in and out at a 16th note. So it's kind of a time frame that you can dance to, kind of, maybe an 8th note a bit more, but it's something we can actually latch onto as a rhythmic effect. Okay, so let's try this. So the attack time is going to determine the transient response of the drums, or the response of the compressor to the transient. So if it squashes the transient, it's going to set the drums further back. If it allows the transient to pass through and compresses the sound afterwards, it's actually going to bring the drums forward. So then you can decide, do you want the drums to be set back slightly? Do you want them to be forward? So let me demonstrate. Pardon me. So I've got a bit of a boost on the output gain, so let's have a look. Okay, so you can shut your eyes if you need to and think drums back, set back, drums forward when I bring it in. Okay, so let's try an alternative. So let's try 250. Actually, no, let's try 500. So 500 would be was it a quarter note and 1 millisecond attack. So now we're going to be really holding these drums in place, squashing the transient a bit more, and it's going to snap back very slowly. So that's holding the drums in a space more. So yeah, we can have it like that. Now I can copy across the setting to B and try out the two different settings, because I'm not sure how I want this to work. I could even be more extreme with the release time to 30 milliseconds, and it's going to be much more pumpy and bring the drums even further forward. Kind of feel like maybe that grooves a bit more. Let's try a different attack time. I'm just going to try using the sidechain to make it respond slightly less to the kick. Okay, so if you listen and you watch the gain reduction, it's going. It's kind of it's not sidechain, but it's kind of giving a kind of a similar effect in a way, because I've timed the release time to be a quarter note. Yeah, so let's try it as an eighth note and see if we can hear the difference. Yeah, I think I like it on the 8th note actually, but you can see how the drums feel a bit more coherent on with this kind of principle of having the compression set up this way, and they have kind of just a groove to them. So without it, so that makes me want to knock ahead more than it did before. Now what I do from here actually is I will now copy across. So I'll just bypass this. I'll actually copy across. In fact, I can't remember if I just did it, but I'll do copy, and then let me find, where's the kick? Kick's here. I'll put an actual Pro C2 on each individual channel, because I find that I get a little bit more of a pronounced effect when you actually do it on each channel. So now I arrange the threshold and the ratio to get about a dB of gain reduction to go with the makeup gain that I've got. Okay, let's go to the clap. Wowzers. Now we've got a reverb. I'll put that afterwards. I don't know what's going to. I'm just going to pretend that this is not. That I'm not seeing this sound and what's going on with it. In fact, I wonder what it's like if I don't know what's going on with this clap. It's got some crazy transient going on. Have I boosted something here? No, I wonder what it's like if I just try and tame the onset a bit. I think we kind of need that attack. Right, so bring that reverb down here. So you can see why I need to arrange the thresholds and the ratio properly, because they're all different volumes. So That's a 909. So that's a conga, there's shaker loops. It's going to help this part of the end gel a bit more because you're going to have lots of sounds that have a similar compression contour to them. Extra snare. Extra clap comes in here. Okay, then we've got a ride. Let's select that. Snare roll, I'm just going to leave. It just comes in for a second. Oops. Oh, I don't know what I just did then. We survived. When I'm organizing the threshold and ratio, I'm looking for consistent compression, because obviously if we have a kind of an inconsistent part, then that's going to trigger inconsistent compression. So in this case, I probably want to have a lighter ratio, lower threshold, so the compression remains more consistent. Live crashes. what's going on with the displays here, because you can see that it's all out of time for some reason. Anyway, okay, shake apart. This cowbell. Get that pumping. Feels a little bit slow. So obviously, the way you position the threshold, it determines the response of the compressor, obviously. If we have it more in the meat of the sound, then it's less of the kind of transit, because you can actually listen to what is triggering it. Yes, if we have it higher up, it's more of the snap. And as we go down, it's more the meat of the sound. And what we want to get is kind of the snap triggering it, so it's going to be a fast kind of response. Okay, this is subtle, but together all these things are going to be pumping together. So basically, okay, if I was doing a proper mix down of this, like I would do, like I did on the original track, none of this would be, you would never see anything like that, because I would gain stage it properly. So I would use this guy here, pre-fader metering in Logic. I would make sure everything had the right level coming in, and it would be gain stage. You would never see any of that malarkey going on. But this, as I said, is more, I think I'm probably just going to give this track away as a free download. So I don't want to spend ages doing that for this one, because you know it's a day, it's half a day bouncing stems at the time. So please don't scream in the chat about gain staging. I'm fully aware of what I've not been doing. Let's move the limit to the bottom of the chain. Fills. Yeah, should do the fills. Okay. Sounds really nice, that fill, actually. This is so myself. Thank God for Saturn. Yeah, you'll be doing that fill again. That's the great thing about going to record great musicians playing, is that I've been dining out on these drum sounds. I've used these drum sounds on this, just the original track, this track. I've got a new track I've used them on. Another remix I've used them on. I've used them on about 5 tracks in different ways, you know, and it's just cool because they're my sounds. No one else has got them, and it gets to a point, I think, where people will be like, "Oh, okay, there's that drum sound," you know, it comes like a trademark. And that's important. We all want to stand out, don't we, and have our own sound. Love it, it's just so chaotic. Hopefully it still just about hangs together. We'll see when I play it out if it's kind of a bit too much, but just want kind of interweaving percussion that sounds like, I said, like a drum circle kind of thing, of people just throwing together, just jamming away on the drums. That was kind of my vision for the outro. Because there's a Purple Disco Machine track, is it called Soultronic or something? and it just ends with like just loads of really cool live drumming, and I've always liked that kind of vibe of. In fact, I just like tracks. I've always liked tracks that have a weird like jam outro, which is kind of not unrelated, but kind of a bit of divergence from the actual original track. You know, like Stone Roses had songs where, you know, they'd have the song, and is it on the Resurrection that finishes like that, and it just has a crazy jam. I like the first track on Love Spreads, not on Love Spreads, on Second Coming. I can't remember what the name. That's got it the opposite way around. So the beginning of the track is kind of a mad ambient percussive jam, and then it goes into the song. I just love that kind of thing. I can think of a folk track as well, which I like, which has that kind of vibe to it. So I've always loved the idea of just having a kind of musically related but completely different sections. It's hard in dance music to do that, really. It's so formulaic a lot of the time, and people just don't get it, and everything's short. Everyone wants a 2-minute Spotify edit, and you know, it's kind of annoying. But I've always tried to do that a little bit sometimes, is just have outros that have kind of interesting things going on. Anyway. Go. This is little break. My brain is straight away just saying transient shaper, but I've already got 2 on there, so I don't really know what's going on. What is this sound doing? Wait, what's that even doing there? Not even supposed to be there. Okay, crash. Let's get this guy pumping as well. Okay, so let's select as many of these as we can. The kick I've got on a different channel, but that's why I try and put them all in the same lane, so I can just quickly in the same row, so I can just quickly bring it in and out. Yeah, it's subtle, but it's there. Let's see if I can grab the kick channel. So if I go create tracks, selected channel strips, yeah, we'll bring that there. So this should appear. Let's bring down the compressor. I've done it before when it's been more noticeable, but let's try it with the kick as well. So what we're listening out for is things to basically come out a little bit at you. So things being set back, and then suddenly to come forward a little bit. So let's take it out first of all. So subtly the drums come out a little bit at you, and also they feel like they belong together a little bit more. Yeah. Compression is not all about just squeezing stuff, you know. It's about groove, and it's about staging things and bringing them out and pushing them back. So let's say, okay, so let's look at some of the busier parts of the track. So I can't do too much longer today, but I do want to get onto some, as I said, staging, some other things as well to show you. Okay, so this piano sound. Okay, so let's use. Yeah, I'm just going to do a little LA2A kind of compression. That piano just needed to come out a little bit more, but let's say the synth line, which is an interesting spelling, because it seems to have a 9 in it. Okay, so let's say I want this to sit back a little bit. So the bass, this is playing the same part as the bass, but let's try and push this back a little bit, which I'm not sure if I want to do yet, but let me see. So let's make this. Let me make this. Okay, let's just see what happens. Let's make it 981, which would be, what did I say? Quarter note or half note? Sorry. So if you listen closely to the synth sound, let's see if there's a better place to play it. So bring it out again. So let's just compare it to the sample and the bass. So this is actually a hard sound to achieve this with, because it's panned quite heavily, which is quite hard to get things to sit back that are panned. But let's have a look. So it's slightly more contained in that way. Let's have a look at the piano and the vocal. So I've compressed it once, but let's do more of a basic kind of staging compression. Okay, so we're setting that back a little bit. So forward. So compared to the vocal, when I take the compression out, the piano is further forward with the vocal. So let me get it to a bit where the vocal's not filtering as much. Maybe it's here. So you can hear how the piano is now more contained and the vocal feels further forward than the piano. But they're more cluttered with the compression out because you're not sure whether you're supposed to be focusing on the sample or the piano. In fact, in this section here, maybe the bass could, so I'm just going to reply on the chat. Someone's just, so hey, is that UL? Hi UL, how's it going, man? Thanks for tuning in. And hi Laurent, I'm not sure if you're still online, but thanks for tuning in. My name's Lawrence actually, so I'm a Laurent in France. Well, actually, my name's a girl's name in France, which is difficult when I lived in France. But anyway, so let's go to the bass, and maybe we'll just do it in this section. Let's hold the bass in the place as well. So I want to make sure that the bass in this section. There's something that annoys me here. I think it's a sample. It's kind of cool that it carries on, but it's a bit messy. It needs to. So adding the compression on the bass there, I feel like again you're focusing on the sample. So bring the compression out again. Bass is coming up front again. Okay, so that's a perfect example. So listen to the clav that comes in. Now that's a new part. I want you to go, oh wow, that's a cool clav part. But with the bass uncompressed here, the bass and the clav are in the same. Like I think about, everything has a top-down distribution. Things have a front-back distribution. So now the bass and the clav are both competing up front a bit more. Compression in on the bass. Sorry, compression in on the bass. Bass sits back, clav comes forward. Okay, so this synth line that comes in here, the kind of Juno part, I'm going to copy across the piano compression. It's my favourite bit. Okay, so these lead parts here, what have I done with these? No, nothing really. Okay, so this can also be set back. Let's try that. Hi Rob, good to see you, man. Good to see you tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. I mustn't forget to make up gain at the end, which I may have forgotten on the last couple of sounds. Okay, the guitars, now maybe they could come forward a little bit. They could be kind of out a little bit. So it's remembered my setting, same setting as the drums maybe. I'm getting inconsistent compression there, so I'm going to line up the ratio and bring the threshold down. I'm just going to try this. I'm going to put on a A3A. It's my favorite guitar compressor by far. Okay, this is an example where I haven't gain staged, and this is an important gain staging because these plugins are designed for certain level, and if you don't give it what it wants, it doesn't act the way that it should. So let's just do a very crude gain stage. I don't even know if this is the right amount, but -10. Back sound, where's it gone? gone. Okay, so I think that's probably enough for today. So yeah, you can see that what I've been doing is controlling front back perspective with compression. So fast attack, slow release, pushes things back. Slow attack, fast release brings things forward. We could do it in musical ways using music bath, using anything which tells you what milliseconds beats are worth, and you can actually do musical grooving compression. So I probably won't do any streaming over the weekend, so I'll be back next week on Monday and just be finishing off a little bit of compression on this mix and maybe some extra bus processing. I think like reverbs and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe there's I can't sit down with the reverbs really. Yeah, so I think I've got some early reflections on here, so maybe I've already kind of dialed it in, but this isn't. Yeah, this could have a bit more love on it because I could probably EQ some of these reverb returns to get a bit more separation with the sounds. But yeah, basically I'll be finishing this mix over the course of next week, so I'll be back on Monday. So guys, have a wonderful weekend, and thank you everyone who's tuned in and everyone who's watching it on catch up. Thanks again, and please tell other people if you think that they'll find this useful. That would be much appreciated. Cheers, guys.